Again, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here today. I would like to ask for all veterans to stand, please, on Memorial Day. I will call the May 23rd Paulding County Board of Commissioners Work Session to order. It's a pleasure to have with us here several elected officials. We're very honored to have Senator Bill Heath in the back of the room in his regal purple. And Judge Bougie, thank you for being here. He's going to report later. District Attorney Dick Donovan. I don't see the Honorable Sheriff, probably in the same meeting y'all were in. We just left. And, oh, Kim here. Kim, thank you for being here. Kim Alexander, Representative Kim Alexander. It's got a great group today. I wasn't expecting this. We have kind of a short agenda today. And I got to recognize Anthony, one of my favorites. Thank you for being here. And at this time, we always begin our meetings with an invocation. It's indeed an honor to have Jean Morehouse from Westside Christian Church give our invocation and to lead us in the pledge.
If capable, please stand. Father, I'm new to the area, and I thank you for the opportunity of coming here to encourage our government, our commissioners to serve. May they do so with clarity, with love and compassion. With the things that they have posted on the wall, may they live up to them. May they always strive to do good, and may we see and encourage them in their service. We thank you for the citizens of this county, for they are strong and they want to be of service. Help us to realize that and to enjoy it, Father, that someday when we come to that shore and you welcome us into your home, you can say to each and every one of us, well done, good and faithful servant. Please, Lord, forgive those who go astray. Strengthen them in their walk to do right. And Heavenly Father, with the news that we had today, those children being killed in the United Kingdom, being done in a name that is a false God, but doing it as they are devoted act, help them to realize their devotion's in the wrong place. That our devotion to your Son and our Savior Jesus Christ should be a powerful weapon, a powerful tool as we talk to you. Build a hedge around our country and around our county. Protect us and guide us. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. All God's people said. Amen. Let's say the pledge to the flag for this time. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you so much.
The May 9th, 2017 work session minutes and the May 9th regular board meeting minutes are available for your review, along with a special call meeting that we had on May the 15th, a work session. Those minutes are available. In our Positively Paulding segment today, we're going to learn a little bit more about litter enforcement and the updates there.
Home with the Paulding County Marshal Bureau, and I'm here today to talk to you about a major problem in Paulding County, and that major problem is litter. As of June 1st, since our litter problem doesn't seem to be getting any better, we are going to start posting names of violators and requiring them to pick up litter on the side of the road. Please remember, this is a community effort. We are reactive to what is happening in the community, and we will be stepping up our enforcement. Please make sure that you tell your friends and family, educate your children, educate anyone that you're around to let them know that we will be putting their name in the paper and we will be making them clean up litter on the side of the road. This is something that we have to get a hold of here in Paulding County, and we can do it as a community. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, please give me a call, 770-443-9768.
Just one more staff member that gets an Academy Award. The meeting date change in June next month. Instead of June the 13th on a Tuesday, we'll have that meeting on Thursday, June the 15th. Put that in your calendars. The work session will be at 10 a.m. as normal. And this is because of staff training that's required on Tuesday. Now I'd like to announce several comments and compliments that came regarding our tax commissioner's tag office. I didn't see Bill, or I would have introduced him as an elected official. Oh, well, I apologize, but he's blend in there with everybody else. But they do a great job upstairs, and I know he's got several of his staff here, and may want to say something. The microphone's yours if you want to, Bill. Here's a few of the comments that were sent to the Board of Commissioners. This department is excellent. I'm 81, and that's the quickest I've ever gotten my tag. Got in and out so fast. This tag department is so much better than any in any of the other counties. And finally, this must be a millennial. Wow, that was quick.
Thank you, Commissioner, and I did want to just say that we appreciate the positive feedback. I have the senior staff with me that are responsible for the tag office. You girls stand up. So Angie Badisher is the tag office manager. She does a great job. And Julie Haygood and Jamie Fielder are her senior staff. And we do appreciate the positive feedback. They work really hard and sometimes in adverse situations. So we thank you for taking time to recognize that.
Thank you all for coming in. Really, on a similar note, I'd like to read a couple of comments about our recent health fair. And Brian Acker is sick, or he would be here to help recognize a couple of his people. It says, good afternoon, Mr. Carmichael. I hope you're all doing well. I wasn't sure if you got to visit the health fair yesterday, but it was fabulous. I've been with the county for almost 17 years, and it was the best health fair I've attended. I think Tara and Ashley deserve a big thank you for all their hard work. Every employee I've spoken with has raved about the health fair yesterday and all the wonderful gifts and raffles. I just wanted to commend them for a great job and all their care and effort that they put into this event. So, ends with this thank you. And Ashley, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything, but at least you could stand up and be recognized. Have any other human resources staff here that put that on?
I'm the only one here right now.
Okay.
But thank you very much. We appreciate it. All the support. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now it's a huge pleasure to have friend and Judge Dean Bucci to approach the podium, and is going to give us an update on one of the neat judicial things going on in the county, our drug court.
Thank you, Chairman, Skipper, Commissioners. Good morning. This, I think, is the third time I've had the pleasure of addressing the Board of Commissioners on our drug court program. One thing I want to do before I forget, we have an executive committee, and this is formed by people in the community that support us and help guide us and steer us, and we meet a couple times a year. And we've got a couple members here, Senator Heath and Representative Alexander, and the pastor who is with us this morning. Any other members of the executive committee? We got Mr. Coleman here, and we're grateful for their support. I think last year when I addressed the Board of Commissioners, we just had a couple participants, and we're still a pretty new program. We just had a couple participants, and at that time, we were in the process of applying for our second grant. I can report to you a couple things today. We just got news that we were approved for our third grant last week, and I understand that we're on the agenda next month, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everybody all of the specifics between now and then. Details will follow, but it was a good number, and we think it's going to be sufficient for our needs. The other thing I can report to you is that whereas last time we were here, we had a couple participants, we're up to 26 participants, so we're growing. We have lost a couple participants. We know going in that not everybody that starts this program is going to make it through. It's a very difficult program. We've got a couple participants who are not here because they're under sanction by the court. We don't want to talk about that, but they couldn't be with us. But we also have the vast majority of our participants who are with us today. I'm going to ask the participants to stand up. This is what success looks like. These are folks that probably otherwise, had they not come into the program, would have been in prison. These are folks that if they were not in prison would probably still be active in their addiction and perhaps feeding their addiction with continued crime in the community. Instead, they're holding down jobs, every one of them, I believe. They are being parents, they're being grandparents to their children, they're attending therapy, they're attending 12-step meetings. Instead of being a drain on society, they are paying taxes and contributing to society. We have one participant that's been doing particularly well, and I've asked him to speak today. Josh, come on up.
I'm Josh Richardson. I've been in drug work almost a year. It's helped me in so many ways to being a part of society again. I started doing drugs when I was 17 years old. I'm 33 now. I've been clean for over a year. I have a great job now to where they trust me. I'm the biggest store manager. My kids are around me. They love me. You know, I put my trust back in my whole family. It's just been an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this drug work.
Does anybody have any questions for Josh?
I'm proud of you. Good job.
Ditto. I really enjoy hearing testimonies like this.
Amen. That's what it's about.
Thank you, Commissioner. I know. Thank you.
Thanks for speaking.
Thank you.
Judge, I'm sorry. I apologize. Judge Bucci, I was at a business about 6 weeks ago, and one of your participants came up to me and just thanked me for us having drug court. It was very complimentary of the program. I didn't know this young man. He was very complimentary of you. He just thought it was just the best thing in the world, and he shared what was going on. He shared what's going on in his life and where he was, where he is, and he was just excited about life and excited about the program, and he was just proud as anything to be able to share that with me. So I thought that was neat, just to be out and about, and this fellow just come up and start talking. We talked for about 45 minutes, and just a great young man. And
thank you for sharing that. We couldn't do it without y'all. If you were not supportive, it shut us down at stage one. We couldn't do it without Mr. Donovan. We couldn't do it without Mr. Driggers. We couldn't do it without Gary. We got Clint here, who was assigned to the drug court program. Gary Gullidge is doing that, not because he has to, but because he wants to help. So there's a lot of people to thank. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could you hand me this Kleenex? We have no bid awards, but we have Kelly Comstock under reports of committees and departments to give us an update on the Richland Creek Reservoir.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Thanks for the opportunity to come before you today and give you an update on the ongoing progress at the Richland Creek Water Supply Program and Reservoir. It's been since January, and we thought it would be a good time to let you know what the continued progress is out on site. We're actually going to talk briefly today about 5 different locations. These are 5 different independent areas of the project that are rapidly changing and undergoing construction. The water treatment plant, the reservoir intake and pump station, the Etowah River intake and pump station, the dam construction, and the raw water pipeline. This is an aerial of the water treatment plant site, and it's changed significantly since we last reported back to you in January. PC Construction has been working hard, pouring concrete and building structures. They actually have one structure, the gravity thickener that you can see sort of in the center of the screen here. It's complete and filled with water and undergoing a tank tightness test. So they're doing the hydraulic testing there. And then throughout the site, you can see the various structures beginning to take shape. They've poured over 5,900 cubic yards of concrete. That's about 45% of the total that's anticipated. And on several of the structures, including the admin building, they've got the masons started. So here they've got the slab done, they've got the under slab electrical and piping, and the walls are coming up. And then now they're preparing to begin work on the superstructure. So starting to take shape. One of the big areas is down where the clear well. This is a large 6 million gallon tank. You can see they've got the under slab piping in place, and they've got the foundation in place to where the tank contractor is going to come and start constructing that area. That'll take over a year to construct, so that's a big area of construction they're going to focus on. And then here are some typical formwork and rebar that's being placed for the filter building. So they're placing a lot of concrete. At the reservoir intake and pump station, this is the tower that's going to be located out in the reservoir itself. It'll extend up above the water surface, and there'll be a bridge that'll come over to an electrical building. They progressed well here. You can see they poured the foundation, and they've started coming up with the walls. In addition, they've done the under slab work at the electrical building as they rapidly work in this area. So a lot of progress taking place at this intake. And this intake will pull water from the reservoir and pump it up to the water treatment plant, where it gets processed and sent to the distribution system. They've also begun work, PC Construction's also begun work at the Etowah River intake. This will be a pump station that pulls water out of the Etowah River and pumps it through the raw water pipeline to fill the reservoir. Here you can see this is the county's property that's been acquired. They cleared the bank, and they've created a crane pad to be able to start installing a cofferdam that will allow them to construct the work in the river. Here you can see they've got a silt fence, floating silt berm that's within the river to keep any erosion control or provide erosion control to prevent silt from going downstream. And they've cleared the banks of the river for preparation for installing the cofferdam system. The dam itself, this is an aerial overview, and I know it's a little hard to see what you're looking at here, but the center line of the future dam basically follows this path right here. They've excavated down to the lowest levels required, all the way down to the rock, and they've begun the installation of the grout curtain, which is a concrete curtain that extends 80 feet down below the levels of rock. Once that's installed, they will begin the process of filling the dam up, and eventually there will be an earthen berm that's located across here. It's about 4,000 feet across this whole area, and this area here will be filled with water to create the reservoir itself. They've excavated about 430,000 cubic yards of earth. So if a typical dump truck holds about 9, you can see that's about 50,000 dump trucks worth of earth that's been moved so far. That's gotten them down to the elevation that they need to be at to be able to do the subsurface work. And they've mobilized, Brad Cole Construction has mobilized the specialty contractor Nicholson, who's now going through and doing the grout injection. You can see some of their equipment here that's drilling the holes down and injecting the concrete down that 80 feet. They've also begun work on installing the outlet tower that will allow flow to go through the dam and allow continuous flow into Richland Creek. And you can see here, that's the 60-inch outlet pipeline that will go through the dam itself. It's about 120 feet below the earth, and it's a very significant pipe. It's about 9 inches thick, the concrete of that pipe, to show the thickness of that pipe. So that work is ongoing as well. The raw water pipeline that will transfer water from the Etowah River pump station to fill the reservoir. We hit a great milestone with that. Garney Construction, well ahead of schedule, has completed that pipeline. It's about 3 miles of 48-inch steel piping. A very successful project. They've basically done it several months ahead of schedule. They're complete. And we found out yesterday they finalized the pressure testing and officially signed off on the project. So the first significant project completion milestone has been met. The finished water pipeline, which will be a pipeline that takes water from the Richland Creek plant and sends it down into the distribution system, is under design right now. And they're about 80% complete with the first design package. We're going to be bidding it in 2 different packages. The first one will be the pipeline that extends all the way along 61. And then there'll be a section of pipeline that heads off and skirts around the city of Dallas. You can't really see it here, but it basically follows here. In order to begin construction on the 61 section, we decided to break that out as a separate pipeline. That will draw the attention of some of the very large national pipeline contractors. The second section of pipe that goes around the city of Dallas is about 10,000 feet. That will be approachable by smaller contractors as well. So we feel that because the construction type is different, the one along 61, there's traffic control required, you're having to maintain that construction in the right-of-way. That's a different type of construction than the other section that's more cross-country and back of lots. So we figure breaking it apart would speed the implementation and also get better competitive pricing because we'll be appealing to some smaller contractors for that second part. So we anticipate the first package coming to the Commission in July, the section that runs along 61, but we're going through the easement acquisition process right now, and pending any blips in that, we'll have that in front of you. And then we're working with the Hospital Authority for siting of the pump station that will be located here near the Watson complex. It'll be back behind where the DDS facility is, and there'll be a small pump station that will be located there. So that's an update with the construction activity, a lot of ongoing work. We were actually pleased to have the Water and Sewer Advisory Board come out and do a tour last month. They really enjoyed seeing all the concrete and all the work that was going into place. Several hundred people on site right now working, so a lot of great activity, and we'd be happy to host any of you if you would like to join us at any point. We are talking about potentially later this summer maybe having a field day where we would open it up to the public, to allow the public to come, obviously in limited sort of first come, first serve, but people could sign up. Because it really is limited viewability off of 61 right now. You really can't see everything. You really have to get in there to be able to see what's happening. So more news to come on that as that is scheduled, and we'll open it to the public. But any questions that I can answer?
Great projects.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. The next item is public participation, and I forgot to ask Trevor, Lieutenant Daniels is out, if anyone signed up. Did anyone sign up to speak on agenda items? Okay. There is no consent agenda, and under old business, discuss action to approve job description for the county administrator or equivalent and approve human resources to begin the hiring process. This topic began on February the 14th and was tabled originally from the Board of Commissioners meeting March the 14th, 2017. Authorization was given to Human Resource Director Brian Acker to revise the job description and bring it back before the board. April 11th, 2017. The board adopted a job description for County Operations Manager and approved Human Resources to begin the hiring process. And now the next step has been taken. Mr. Acker was going to report on, but Ms. Gulick, do you want to update us on that, or have you spoken?
If you guys have any questions, I'll be glad to defer to Brian and get him to get back with you as soon as possible. So if you do have any questions, let me know, and I'll be glad to go from there.
I'm going to attempt to speak for Brian. I don't know that I'm going to do as good a job. We put this back on the agenda by the consensus of the board members because when we ran the first advertisement, we only got a limited number of responses back. And several of you were approached by outside county agencies, other counties in the state that indicated that our job description was wide, than themselves for some of the people that work for other counties, and then other county government officials had indicated the job description was why they wouldn't apply for it, and they wanted us to relook at it. So y'all discussed that amongst yourselves, and I understand that you want to come back with something that's a little more concrete and a little less confusing about what we're looking for. And so Mr. Acker redid the job description, and I know he distributed it to each of you.
You want to have any questions or comments, Ashley? Okay, well, appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Under new business, discuss action for the Board of Commissioners to approve amendment number 1 for design services for the distribution system improvement, finished water pipeline, and booster pump station project in the amount of $77,000. Ms. Ashmore, you want to answer any questions on that? We've got read-ahead material.
Actually, Mr. Comstock is going to handle that.
Thanks, Chairman. This item is associated with several additional design services associated with the finished water pipeline project, and they were sort of accumulated together to come to you as this amendment. The primary one is some additional design requirements that came out of the final routing of the pipeline around the City of Dallas. We worked with the City of Dallas with several different iterations and several different routes to minimize the impact to their community. The ultimate route that was chosen was longer by about 1,500 feet compared to the original alignment that was assumed when the design contract was instituted. So there was some additional design efforts, some additional surveying, some additional geotech work associated with that additional length of pipeline beyond what was in the Atkins North America's original contract. Additionally, as we went through the final design process and land acquisition, easement plats are required to be developed, and within their contract there were a certain number of easement plats, but the ultimate number needed was higher, so this is for the additional easement plats required. And then the third item is for them to conduct a surge analysis. What we've recognized is that there's the potential for a pressure spike within this piping based on how the final geography lays out, to where if there was ever a power outage, there would be a water hammer scenario like you may experience in your house, for example. And so what they will do is do a surge analysis, and then a surge tank will be provided, and they will design that. It's about a 20,000 gallon tank, and it works similar to the pressure bladder that you have near your hot water heater that prevents that expansion tank. It's basically allows for that compression, and it minimizes the amount of pressure spike that occurs within the distribution system. So that was not in their original scope, and based on the need for it, we've included it in this amendment. So the total for all of these items is $77,000. It's within the contingency budget set aside for this project. And I neglected to mention before, and it's an important thing to mention, that we're fully on schedule. We're anticipating to be done in 2019 as originally planned, and we're currently on budget with that, with all the different projects. So everything's looking good in terms of cost as well. So, any questions on this amendment?
You just went ahead and answered
my
question.
I knew it was coming.
Because you knew it was coming.
Yes, sir.
So we're in good shape.
Very good shape.
We're under budget.
Yes, sir.
We're on time.
On time. Yes.
No surprises.
Nope.
Everybody's happy.
Okay.
Could be better.
If I could add one thing, because I wanted to, I should have said this when you were doing your initial report. There's actually 82 separate easements that go with the finished water line, so I just wanted you all to understand the scope of that project and that easement acquisition. And we actually have 2 easement acquisition agents that are out doing that project right now, and they're doing extremely well.
They are. Yeah.
We're running tile work in-house, so it's going fine.
people are excited for this water pipeline to come through, so that's good.
Is it true, and I've been to the water safety meeting and also talked to you, but is it true that going the new route is actually less expensive because it doesn't come through the sidewalks?
Well, it'll be less expensive construction. It'll be a longer distance, so it's. I can't say overall it's less, but it will be easier and quicker construction and less disruption to the community. So I don't know how you can put a price on that.
Thank you for the update, Kevin.
Yes, thank you.
All right, that concludes our regular business, and I would entertain a motion that we allow the public participation part since our property visit and our executive session may be a little longer.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, since we don't know how long executive session usually lasts, that we go ahead and bring the public participation on non-agenda items and let them speak this time.
Here we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second that we proceed with public participation on non-agenda items. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And this time I'll ask Ms. Carol McLeod to approach the podium, and her topic is Commissioner Accountability.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I'm going to try to be brief, and I even wrote my thoughts down today so I could be brief. But I stand before you today in a lot of conflict, inner conflict, about what I was taught by my parents. On one side, I hear my mother's voice saying that what I call the thumper rule from Bambi, to say, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So I'm going to say something nice. Mr. Carmichael, my husband, and I thank you for your service in Paulding County. We know you're trying very hard to move this county forward with your visionary ideas for economic development. The residents you have met from the resistance that you have met from the other 4 commissioners is sometimes unwarranted, but I'm confident in the end that y'all will work together and the people will prevail so that business and industry will once again come back to Paulding County. There was a man named Alexis de Tocqueville who speaks of freedom, religion, and morality. And he says he regards religion as the companion in all battles and all triumphs. And then he says, and listen to this, because religion alone is the safeguard of morality, and morality is the best and surest pledge of freedom. This is good stuff. And the reason it's good stuff is because it came from Ralph Reed, who is, because most of you were trained by Faith and Freedom Coalition. And I have admired and respected his words and work for many, many years. Good government starts at home by good examples and teachings of the home. And figuratively, if one can't take care of his or own house, then eventually that house burns down. Now, my conflict is that what my mother said was say something nice all the time. But my father always taught me to stand up for what is right. And Ron, today, I want to say I'm standing up for what is right. I gave you his advice on many occasions, and I told you what is popular is not always right, and what is right is not always popular. But you have to always do the right thing. Today I'm here to do the right thing and champion the future of the children, our grandchildren of Paulding County. Ron, I told you on many occasions I would support you as long as you did the right thing and stand by the people in Post 1. And I'd give you a year to correct any mistakes of fledgling politicians. Your year was up the minute I heard of your extramarital affair. The true character of a man or woman is determined not by what he or she does when people are watching, but what he does when people, or when he thinks people aren't watching. Eyes have been watching you for a long time, and there have been adult eyes, and they have been children's and little ones' eyes. Unfortunately, the children have been watching. You ran your campaign on being honest, a family man, married the love of your life since middle school, being a good father, a role model for youth of our county, loving your children, being a moral, ethical, and strong Christian man. You drug your wife and children all over Post 1 campaigning and introduced them on the front porches, stoops, and sidewalks of many of my friends' homes. That was all lies. In truth, you ran your campaign on dishonesty and deceitfulness, and you betrayed all the citizens of our Post 1. Your wife and children, most importantly, you betrayed your own children and our children and grandchildren of the county. Studies show that almost half or more of all our classrooms are filled with children from broken homes, usually caused by parents who want to act like teenagers and put themselves before their own children. Ralph Reed, again, and I read a recent article that I really liked, and everybody should read it. He stated that it's easier for a man today to discard the wife of his youth than fire his own secretary. That is so sad. It is so sad for our community and for our nation. Ron, at your last town hall meeting, you admitted to me and about 20 others attending that you were having an extramarital affair, but you said it was not what we thought, implying it was not intimate. You also stated that you weren't divorced and it was going to be a long process. That was public lie number 1. Since then, you have paraded your mistress all over Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida, and she has documented your affair all over Facebook and Twitter. That was not bad enough. Then you were caught up in another lie, in the type of relationship that you said that you weren't having was verified as untrue. You took her to a county commissioner's meeting in Savannah, and you shared your hotel room with her like it was a vacation or honeymoon. Your adulterous escapades were paid for at our expense, the Paulding County taxpayers, all of us. And it was posted all over Facebook. And by the way, Ron, you broke the law. Did you know that adultery is still considered a crime in Georgia, punishable with a fine and jail time? Yeah. And in conclusion, I just want to say that your extramarital affair places you in the same league as Anthony Weiner, Bill Clinton, Bill Cosby, and most recently the governor of Alabama. You're not an honorable enough to have the title of Post 1 Commissioner, Ron, and you're a disgrace. And again, for the third time, I'm asking you, now I'm demanding for me and for many others in your district that you resign as Post 1 Commissioner. Do not embarrass your constituents and your family any longer. It's the right thing to do. You need to take care of your own house before you take care of ours. Thank you.
Next, Christina Sanfilippo will speak on taxpayer dollars, use of taxpayer dollars.
Terrible.
Good morning. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the topic of fiduciary responsibility and the proper usage and management of taxpayer funds. I recently had the opportunity to attend a field trip with my son to the Cobb County Safety Village. The main takeaway from this trip was the glaring difference between Cobb and Paulding. Cobb is able to provide its citizens with many enhanced services while Paulding struggles to provide the basics. The truth was painfully obvious recently at the special call meeting for the purpose of budget planning. Upon reviewing the needs listed of capital expenditures and staffing needs that totaled several $1 million, I stated that I was okay with a potential tax increase to ensure the county was able to provide, among other things, public safety with additional equipment and staff, DOT with staffing and equipment for infrastructure, address ADA compliance and other regulatory compliance issues, adequately staff and equip departments to take advantage of efficiencies and cost savings derived from automation or by bringing in-house previously outsourced functions, providing for media upgrades for economic development initiatives and government transparency, adequately addressing issues such as stormwater management that has significant risk exposure in the event of another flooding event. However, as a taxpayer, I would be remiss without closely scrutinizing current expenditures. In light of the fact that we are potentially looking at a significant millage rate increase, taxpayers should be closely questioning the following frivolous spending. The need for Todd Pownell to spend $1,600 to travel to Seattle and New York to listen to depositions being taken, when he could have been briefed by conflict counsel as to the content and outcome of depositions or had the deposition transcripts. the need for the BOC to even need a conflict counsel to begin with. It is absolutely ridiculous that the BOC is spending $10,000 to $20,000 a month on conflict counsel for the purpose of suing another Paulding County government entity, the Airport Authority. At the last Airport Authority meeting, it was mentioned that they will have to spend somewhere in the range of $100,000 to defend themselves. This money could have gone a long way towards funding some of the capital expenditure items needed. I also have to wonder how many hours of Paulding resources and funds were used to also go after the Paulding Fly Group for billboards. And at the end of the day, it was found that their activities were permissible under Georgia laws. Additionally, I also wonder who paid the $7,500 in legal fees that were ordered in the consent final order dated June 28, 2016 by the defendants Tony Crow, Vernon Collette, Todd Pownell for violating Georgia's open meeting laws by having a quorum at Vernon Collette's October 15, 2015 town hall meeting. Taxpayers need to be asking themselves, why would any company want to come to Paulding County and enter into any kind of contract or agreement with the BOC, IDA, the Airport Authority, or even the PCED when the precedent is being set that future administrations may try to undo these agreements? When we have these other kinds of, and then also when we have these other kind of shenanigans going on. It's unfortunate that we will never be able to truly quantify the lost opportunity cost for missed economic development deals due to the perception of a lack of continuity of government we have had over the past couple of years. A World Bank blog recently stated that economic growth and political stability are deeply interconnected. The uncertainty associated with an unstable political environment may reduce investment in the pace of economic development. Yet economic development is what we desperately need to solve our long-term funding requirements and to balance our tax base. It's past time for the BOC to get its priorities in order and stop wasting taxpayer dollars on this airport debacle and do the right thing for Paulding County citizens instead of one of the major airlines in Atlanta. Thank you.
Well, that's David Austin.
I will turn my mic on. I will make a motion that we adjourn to visit a property that has been described to the staff, and then the Board of Commissioners will enter into executive session after that property visit.
Well, okay, what we're going to have to do is you're going to adjourn the meeting, you can go to the staff visit, but when you get back from the staff visit, you're going to have to open the meeting, then do your motion to go into executive session where you state on the record why you're doing that, and then you can go into executive session. So you're going to have to make a trip back in here and then make a trip to executive session. And I don't know how long your staff site visit is going to take. So
1 hour from now.
Okay, so 1 hour from now, you got to come back in this room, at least a quorum of you, and go into executive session and state that the reasons only, I believe, are personnel, real estate, and litigation. So that would be the next thing you have to do. But if you're going to adjourn to go on the site visit, do that first, come back in, and do that executive session motion.
I make a motion that we adjourn the regular meeting to let the staff go on a site tour visit for 1 hour. We meet back here at 9.
Okay, so what time is it right now? 10:47, so approximately 11:47. Y'all need to reopen the meeting for the purpose of having a motion to go into executive session. So you have a motion. Actually, you kind of have two motions, but.
I have a motion by Commissioner Collette. Is there a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Davis. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned, and we'll meet back here in an hour.
You got 30. Make a motion, we go back into open session.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. I make a motion that we go into executive session for litigation, personnel, and real estate.
Second. Motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye. Aye. So we'll see you back in an hour or so.
Yeah. It'll probably be extended, so for those people that are waiting.
I will call the regular business session back to order, and
We've recessed executive session after planning and zoning. We're going to go back into executive session because we didn't finish.
we have had several discussions, and there are two motions that we would like to cover before we turn this over to planning and zoning. So do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to accept the bid by Anderson for the surplus property located at the intersection of Bill Creek Parkway and the Southern Railway in the amount of $171,501, and to take steps to proceed to closing.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Now I would like to make a motion to add the appointment of Ms. Kimberly White as a Senior Administrative Assistant to the Chairman. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second by Mr. Collette. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Now I'll entertain a motion that we recess.
Make a motion that we recess this meeting until after the planning and zoning meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And
to make it clear, after the planning and zoning meeting, we're going to go back into executive session, which is the portion of the meeting we were already in.
we will call the work session back to order, and do I hear a motion to go into executive session?
Good to see you. Need a motion to go into what we've already called the back to order. Yes. Need a motion to go into executive session for personnel, litigation, and real estate.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any opposed? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I will call the work session back to order, and we do have a motion.
For the 7 o'clock agenda, I'd like to move that we add the following item. Authorize Smith Connerly LLP to transmit a counter proposal to the Paulding County Airport Authority letter dated May 17, 2017, as discussed in executive session.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Davis, a second by Commissioner Pownell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Here's 5-0. That's the conclusion of our work session. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
We are adjourned until 7 o'clock.
Rebecca, here's that paper.
Is that an official name?